Hey everyone, this is Acid Roots. Got another review for you. So this is going to be Kanye West College Dropout. Now, this album is over 10 years old. We're actually going on the point where it's getting near um 15 years old. In February of 2016 it'll be 12 years old, and it'll be about 13, 14 years that Kanye was working on it. So we're getting to the point where the 2000s decade is, a time ago, and this is one looking back that shaped some things and opened up doors for different people. Because it's not a Tupac clone, it's not a Master P clone, it's not a Snoop Dogg clone, and it's not a Notorious B.I.G. clone. It's not any of that. It has like Kanye may have said a few things, done a few things, but it's about something different. And there's been people like Drake and Talib Kweli and Common and Will I Am that have kind of explored this genre a little bit more. And, if you like it, just understand that I'm going to do more in this subgenre of rap as time goes on. But this is definitely one I think a lot of you should have if you like this sort of music. So, like I said, it's basically a flawless album. I mean, I didn't like every song on there, but considering the impact that it made, the amount of singles it had, and the production, um, and plus the things that he was saying, um, it had a lot of the makings of a standard classic by today. So this was Kanye's first album. There were 5 singles. The first one was Through the Wire, and he was in a car accident about a couple years before the album came out, and he raps the song while his jaw is wired shut. And it's a good song. I think you'll like it. It's definitely a song to check out. The people, I mean, if you are young and you come up on Kanye from later than 2009, you probably won't be expecting the sort of style that this is, but it's something to check out. And the next one is Slow Jams, and this one kind of feels like a 70s number that you might have heard, back then. Both of these have samples, and they're worthwhile. Third song is All Falls Down, and this is another hit. This one kind of feels a little bit more outgoing, but not necessarily, you know, with a lot of vices. The next one is Jesus Walks, and it's a good song. It's not a topic that a lot of people talk about, but I think you'll like it. Um, the one after that is The New Workout Plan. And this is the only one that I feel like people probably didn't hear, but I do think it's worth it. All 5 of these songs are good. Check out all 5. But then, I mean, really, the whole album is kind of like that. So, can you smoke to this? It doesn't really feel as good of a smoking album as the last album I reviewed, which was Eminem. So, a few songs that I guess I would say you could smoke to would be Spaceship, Get 'em High, and 2 Words, and Through the Wire. So, I mean, the thing about Kanye is it feels like he's a smoker, but he's not a stoner. So it just feels like the culture hasn't impacted him, even though he takes place. He does a few of the things, and that's something. This is a type of style. They called it backpacker style and everything like that. And it just happens to be a little bit different. So if you're wondering, like, some albums to check out, I guess I'll recommend a few more. I mean, for me, this isn't a style that I pursue, but you can, it's still fun. You can definitely enjoy some of this because, you know, the way that these guys work is they do some introspective stuff that will probably get more of a reaction from you than just your standard club song that declares how cool they are. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the production, it's handled rather well. I mean, I like the samples quite a bit on this album. The new workout plan really works. Spaceship is good. Jesus Walks is good. Get 'em High is really good. Slow Jams is really good. Through the Wire is great. So yeah, most of the album is. It's you're gonna be. I think you'll be satisfied with it, but just to understand that there's not really like a total knockout club song. There's nothing like that. It doesn't feel like Kanye is really concerned with um, just showing up to a club at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Like a few songs like Spaceship and All Falls Down are just this is softer. So, but the new workout plan. I mean, I think Vita Guerrero was in that video, and it's Kanye was no stranger to finding attractive women. I mean, there's been like in Double XL, there were several women that were in his videos. So just understand that there are songs that get women going. You just have to pick them. I think Slow Jams and New Workout Plan are a couple good ones. But I guess we do need more. But then there's always Late Registration, his second album. So the Unheard Songs. Now, I like 9 out of 13 songs. So that's rather good. I'm going to give it a high score just because of the impact that it made. And, when you get albums that start things out as opposed to follow things, that they deserve a higher score just because, they're switching things up. I don't think that this is the first one, but he's one of the most noteworthy ones that did it. So, but the 9 songs that I liked were all 5 of the singles, Get 'em High, 2 Words, Never Let Me Down, which is really smooth song. Jay-Z drops 2 verses on there, and Spaceship. I think yeah, that's all of them. But there are a couple close songs that I didn't like, but you might like. They're actually pretty approachable. We Don't Care. That's a really friendly. It's a real friendly song. I think some people might like it. And Breathe In, Breathe Out kind of has the strength of an album cut, but just doesn't quite make it far enough. So those are 2 songs that were close, but I didn't like. But they're kind of good. So when I compare this to others, I think Kanye West, Late Registration, I haven't listened to in a long time. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I'll get that one up and running. But I will say that the 2000s decade where he dropped most of his records is over. So, like, the style of Kanye that you heard on the radio and everything like that, I mean, he's not someone who was left behind. when it came to change. And that is something that, um, is different because not every person makes it 10, 12 years. I mean, he's still in the press and everything like that. So it is interesting, but if you're missing this record, I will say that there's not really a clone of it. And really, this was a trilogy of albums. Graduation and Late Registration were a part of this, but they were different from this album. So I'll try to figure out and remember just a few. And speaking of that, one of them, the years line up what came out. In 2004, it was basically Lil Jon's year. The Dirty South was just all over the place. Lil Jon had a lot to do with it, and Crunk was all over the place, Lil Scrappy, and there was D12 and things like that. I guess Cameron would be another one to check out, but some of the things I'd recommend checking out Common's B, which is his 2005 record, because that one's basically like this album part 2. Kanye West even produces it, and I'd say probably like check out some stuff by Talib Kweli, which I guess I could put in the description so you could see it, how to spell his name. And then I'd just get into Wu-Tang, just get into some of that, Drake, and that's about it. But I recommend this album. I'm going to give it a 10. I mean, I like 9 out of 13. That's that's better than a lot of things that I've seen lately, but I will say that, obviously, because this album has, created waves and everything like that, I do feel like that's important, and that's probably how I'm going to do things. The future, I mean, Kanye's been talking about dropping an album this year. I don't know what it's going to be called. I don't know the direction that it's going, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if he can even chart again. Is this album social? Now, this is kind of an issue just because really it is kind of a social album, but these songs haven't aged perfectly. So slow jams, new workout plan are good, but it just isn't an enticing album. It's not something that's going to get you excited. It's not something that you're going to listen to at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's not something that, you're going to be getting wild to. So that's just something you got to understand, is that it just happens to be a very presentable album. So it is good. What I would probably do is I'd just pick like the biggest numbers. Get 'em High as another one. Just pick like the numbers on here that would be more kind of outgoing, and then you'll have like a decent halfway. I mean, it's more, Kanye West is a little bit more conscious, so you'll get more of that style of music, and people won't think that you're shallow, which is something that I mean, Kanye may have toned this down, but I don't really think he's that shallow. So breathe in, breathe out, new workout plan, Get 'em High, slow jams. These are just a few of those records to check out. Can it be topped? Not likely. I mean, this is, one of the better albums that Kanye's done. It's alright. Subscribe for more fun. I give this album a 10, and I'll give it an 8 social. Subscribe for more fun.